Hello guys, welcome to Mari Skin Texturing. Uh, in this tutorial, our focus is using the projection way to do the texture projecting, human face texturing in Mari. Let me start with a new channel here. I'm gonna name this channel Color Map, and the color space will be sRGB. The depth will be 8-bit. I'm gonna do 4K texturing and press OK. It's gonna give me a channel to work with, and underneath projection, change the bake behavior to clear only. Okay, that way you can work on the texture, work the buffer first, and then you can bake it later. Okay, let me press File button and drag it forward to make it fill the screen, and then I can drag in my images. Those images are from 3ds-k. They're a little old, but they're still really high quality, so that's why I'm still using those. And I can grab those all and just drag them to the image tab, image manager, to import all the images I'm going to use for projection. Now, if you have a specific character you want to create, maybe you can go take their pictures. Like, if you're modeling people that you can of course take good pictures of their face, so you can get exactly the same result. Okay. Anyway, I just use those textures to give me better realistic result. I will take them later if I think I see fit. So let me just zoom in, fill this head to the screen, and then drag that face to the viewport, so I can project that. Let me scale it in a little bit, match it with my face as good as possible, and then I can just draw out the texture. Okay, now afterwards I'm going to use this slurp brush just to match it with my model better. Now it doesn't have to be a perfect matching. In this case, I'm just blocking in the images or the colors, so that some kind of like mismatching is okay. In this case, I will reproject the eye and nose and mouth later on, so that I will get better matching. So for now, it's just more like blocking the entire face. So let me try to stretch it a little bit further to cover more space, and then press the B button to bake it. Okay, that's gonna give me some basic texture there already, if not perfect. Alright, now let me go to the side view. Okay, now here I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna call this one I can rename the first one head front fill, and second one had side fill. And let me go grab my side view here, this guy, I guess. Well, I can use that bigger one. Okay, now you notice that the direction of this is flipped. I can flip it back if I wanted to, but let me do this side first. Okay, so go to the 2 button, 2 to go to the side view, and maybe just rotate it back a little bit. Also make the image bigger and match them. Alright, and then let me draw out the color. Okay, so that's the side. Now you notice that I have drawn some eye that I don't want to be there. You can press the E button to erase that little part. Have some nice blending over there, and here maybe, and press B button to bake it. Okay, I can even name this the left side, or this is actually the right side of the face. Now you will see that the color doesn't really match on some points. Seems like it's a little brighter than it's supposed to be. You can switch back to the flat view so you can actually see the color, and apparently the side face is too bright compared to the front face. I can fix that by right clicking on my layer and go to adjustment stack. Let me put it here. Okay, right click, adjustment stack, add adjustment stack, and use HSV here. What it's gonna give me is some option to tweak the saturation and brightness. So let me change the value here to make it lower so it's darker here. And maybe saturation will also go slightly lower. Okay, that looks good. Alright, and then I just need to also blend it a little bit more by going to the layers and right click, add layer mask, and review all. That way it will have a mask, and I can just use the black color here. Use the pen brush and use the black color. Pen is the P button, and just erase out some of the areas that I think I can blend them better. Let's have some nice and even blending. Alright, do still have some stretching there. Let me Control Z, go back. Maybe I can still use the other one without, has better quality over there. And maybe I can make this one a little bit more saturated. Okay. This part is a little weak. The good thing about this is not destructive, so I can still project. So let me go back to my projection and just move that part again to the side of the face. Let's fill that in. Oh, don't want that part. Carefully fill that in. Don't want the mouse to be there though. Okay. Alright, so that's the side of the face. Oops. Shouldn't do that. So let me move on to the other side. I'm gonna do the same thing. So on the other side of the face, I can use the same face, but I need to flip it. To flip it, you can press F7 on the keyboard. It's gonna bring up the two properties. I'm gonna go for textures and oops, not there. Don't dock there. I'm gonna flip it by typing in negative on the scale to flip it. Alright, and then just match it to the screen again, and also match the image to the screen. The difference here now is when you scale it, it's gonna go the other way. So just be aware of that, and everything else should be fun. Let me just block out this side also. Oh, I think I switched to something. Let me change my channel back. I'm now on the other channel. Okay. All right. I just want to fix that little part. And V to make it. Now the side is being filled. Okay. That doesn't mean it's perfect. If you really go closer, you can see that maybe the bottom part will have some really bad stretching. And here it's okay, but it could be better and have higher resolution if I really want it to be. Okay, but it's far from completely finished or perfect, but it's a good start. Alright, let me go to my image manager again and find some other views. The current objective is block the entire face, so I have to take care of the back. Let me go try the neck again. Drag the neck in, press F7. I'm gonna flip it back, otherwise my scale will go negative directions. Okay, I'm gonna use the neck to block the other part of the face, the head. So and also go to the layers and create a new layer. Head back fill. So this is for filling the back. Use the no. It's a little harder because I have those things. Let me see if I can use this one. Side of the face, maybe it's good enough. Yeah, looking pretty good. So I'm gonna just use this one to help me blocking out what's happening on the other part of the head. I'm not worrying too much about, you know, the color differentiation yet, but I want to get a decent flat result. So I have to be fairly careful when I'm blocking it using this part of the body because it's curved. That means the shading on it could change dramatically sometimes. Just being really careful here. That part is too dark, so don't use that part. Again, the resource you're using is important in this case, right? So try to get some high quality images. You can buy something online, like from, you know, Texture XYZ. I think that's one of the good resources, or other resources you can find. If you have a really good camera, you can probably just, you know, record or capture your own skin. Right, my skin is like crap, so I don't want to do it. Anyway, so let me just you know, quickly go through this part of the body. Oh, another thing I can try to do is change my brush, right? I'm not using this guy, but that doesn't mean I have to use this circular brush. Underneath the shelf, I can change my brush to something more organic. So let's go to the organic brushes, and you can choose a different one to, you know, maybe that one. That's gonna give you a kind of different, you know, result to block stuff. It's kind of too blurry, so maybe let me use the other one here. Right, so that's gonna make it better, blending wise. Feels more organic with that edge. It's just like copying what's in real life to those surfaces. Now, I could imagine that drawing those things from scratch would be really hard, even using our combination way of, you know, RGB colors. It's just gonna be super hard to achieve realistic results, and we know that you know, if we can really capture the reality this way, right, using this kind of projection way, why do we bother draw them out, right? It's not a test of, you know, ability to really create something from scratch. It's more about productivity, creativity, and final result, right? Final delivery, the efficiency and stuff. So I don't see any bad thing about using those kind of resource to do projection instead of do things from scratch, hand painted, unless hand painted is the the style you're going to go for. Then there's no way you can get a run of it. Maybe even for drawing kind of way, right? Maybe in the future there will be some kind of filter to just mimic that. But anyway, I think I'm talking something not important. So I'm gonna go fast forward this part to finish this entire not lag, the entire face. Of course, you can use this kind of way to go through this entire, not just face, but the entire model, right? I have other body parts too that if I want to project, I can do those too. But I just want to focus on the face because this is the most difficult part. After this, anything else should be easy to do. Okay, so now I have filled the face with, another patches that I, duplicate again and again. So it's just basically repeating the side of the face on the entire model on a different layer. Let me just fill in this last portion here real quick. The idea here is go a little bit further than you think it will cover so that you can have some blending space. Okay. Anyway, so now I have this, but apparently the color is very different, but no big deal. I just need to go, grab my layer, right click on it, go to adjustment stack, add adjustment stack, and use HSV. I can drag this out and do some tweaking, like I think it should be darker, right? Just make it darker. And I also think it should be a little bit more saturated, so let's go for that. Okay. Oh, you know what? I think the color here, you know, are fitting, need different kind of fitting, different kind of tweaking on different areas. But let me do this first, right? Do this first. Change the value to something a little bit darker. That's fitting to the top, I guess. That's a perfect fit. And just need to use the adjustment layer, right? Oh, sorry, the layer mask, reveal all, so that I can use paint brush and use a black brush to just do some more blending if possible between those two images. I have to press the B button to bake it first. No problem. This part I may choose to redo it later on when I'm baking, you know, projection details. Anyway, it looks like a little bit too dark, so let me make it just slightly brighter, maybe. Okay. So have better blending. Alright. I do notice that this part is kind of like too dark compared to the surroundings. So I need some fixing here. I'm gonna go to this layer stack. I'm gonna create a new layer stack on top of it. That's why this is called layer stack. I'm gonna call this one HSV bottom. And this bottom one, I'm gonna change that to something brighter, just to match the bottom color better this time. It's not gonna fit with the top, but that's okay. I'm just gonna give it a mask. So layer mask, add mask, and gonna be hide all, so that it's not doing anything. And then I can use a white color. I can paint that mask to make those parts brighter. You can see now I'm actually painting a mask for adjustment layer, right? No. To get better color results. Not sure what's going on there. Guess it's just this layer is kind of dark, so let me use that a little bit. Just trying to get the best blending I can, you know, get. Oh, forget to. Oh, right, I have to also go to this layer stack to also have those on. So they're having better blending at the bottom. I want those to be all brighter at the bottom of the face. I'm not sure why this one is yeah, it's being erased. Let me get it back. So it's a little bit easy to get lost. But you just need to remember that you just painting masks for different stuff. Just select the mask and you paint it, okay? And you should be good, more or less. Okay, so now I finished blocking this entire face. I'm gonna pause the tutorial here, and then in the next one I'm gonna go for some detail fill in you know, the face area, and maybe fix on the side of the face. I still see some really bad color variations, even though it's not that visible when you're in shading mode, but it's still visible in the texture, which means there are still space that we can enhance. So see you next time.